Anyways, we could do a Seren explanation now. Seren guide. Oh, I already have it up. Okay, so Seren, in my opinion, is a lot harder of a boss than Black Mage. So, and I know most people in the chat probably aren't gonna be at this point in the game, but hopefully, if you are at this point in the game, if you guys are trying to learn Seren, hopefully this helps you at some point. I feel like clearing like a 4-cycle Seren was harder than doing BM. I don't know why. I felt like it was harder though. Bro, you wanna know? Okay, you wanna know why Seren's harder? Seren's harder because your whole party needs to be good at the game, bro. That's why. Because your party could screw you over. That's why. That's why Seren's harder, bro. If you're... Oh my god, bro. You'll see soon, bro. You'll see soon. If one guy's trolling, bro, and he keeps gauging... Oh my god, bro. It's so annoying. Seren is one of the bosses where... Seren's one of the unique bosses in this game, similar to Vihila, but more, is your party really has to be coordinated in this boss. Like, you guys really actually have to, like, play well together, and people have specific roles in this boss that are very important. It's like actual party play. Like, legit party play. It's not like everybody's just hitting a wall. Like, Seren's, like, actually, like, you have to know what you're doing. Alright, so Seren's got a ton of HP, basically. Now, Seren Phase 1. Seren Phase 1 is arguably harder than Phase 2, so... It's harder because you die more, really. Curse of the Sun. Okay, so this is a new concept in the boss. It has its own, like, system in the boss that's new. Gauged, yeah. It's called the Gauge. And basically, to keep it very, very simple, when you get hit by things in this boss, it fills up your gauge. And when your gauge fills up, you're stunned for 10 seconds. You can't get out of it. You're fucked. That's very, like, a very, very simple way to get through it. But, you know, we'll get into details. Gauge. I thought it was 10 seconds. Is it 5? I thought it was 10 seconds for P1. Whatever, it might be 5. Isn't it 6? Oh, okay. Oops. You can't get out of it. Once you're gauged, like, it's over. You can't Hero's Will. You can't iframe out. Nothing. Like, you are gauged. You will not move. And then you'll see this meter on your screen. And as it fills up, once it fills up, you get gauged. Fills up, you get gauged. Like, you'll see the thing up here. How to use Hero's Will properly depends on the boss. Unless Kana? Yeah. Solar Deity. Okay, so Seren herself has a lot of different tricks up her sleeve. She's got a lot of different moves. The stab, her little pokey stab, is her most common move. And the stab occurs pretty much twice as fast as Black Mage's push. So she be stabbing a lot, bro. And to dodge the stab, either you're completely out of the way of her, or you duck. So it's similar to Black Mage. Black Mage, at this point when you're running Seren, you probably already have ran Black Mage. So you're used to ducking. Yeah, Seren's a girl, I believe. Yeah, so you're probably used to ducking, but the thing with the stab is the stab occurs way more often, and it's quicker than the Black Mage push. So you gotta, like, really, really be quick with it. She be stabbing, bro. Look, it's like it's way faster than interval than the push. She be stabbing. There's the charge. You see her, she'll hold up her sword like this and then charge up the sword. The like, energy will form in a circle around her sword. Low, Retlow. Thank you for the follow. And she will charge forward. And the charge is a super knockback. You will get pushed, bro. You will get pushed. Like, no matter what you do, you will get pushed, bro. It's a super knockback. You can up jump this as well. Yes, you can up jump. The roof on this is very high. But if you have a person on your party that can apply the untouchable debuff, such as Night Lord, the push doesn't do anything to you. You don't get pushed. Which is why people want Night Lords for this boss very, very badly. Because Night Lord can... It's kind of sad, but Night Lord can effectively get rid of a lot of this boss's mechanics. Because a lot of the attacks that this boss does are touch-based attacks. Oh my god, this is the worst, bro. This is the banana, bro. I call it the banana. Some people call it the weapon aura or the wave. This is the banana. She holds her sword back like this, and she shoots out a wave in front of her. And this wave is so annoying because it shreds you. Oh, also keep in mind that all of the attacks that I just mentioned give you gauge. So if you get hit by them, your gauge fills up too. If you get hit by this, it shreds you, like it hits you multiple times. It like takes like boom, 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 and each one gives you gauge, and it does a lot of damage. You can either up jump it or duck. The banana, bro. Like Lucid Sickle? No, it's worse. The banana, bro. The banana's dangerous. You gotta be careful for the banana. And the hitbox on this thing is bigger than it looks. You gotta really be out of the way. It's really big. Okay, so she also does 3 ticks. Okay, so 3 ticks. I see. She also does the 8 direction laser. She holds her sword up, glows, and then you'll see 8 indicators around. These hitboxes are actually very, very, very thin. It looks bigger than it is, but they're very, very thin. So you could legit stand right here where my mouse is, and you won't get hit by any of the lasers. These don't give you gauge, but they do a lot of HP. And I think they make you miss, right? Or is that only in P2? Like miss attacks. Same in P1? Okay, yeah. So if you get hit by that, you'll get debuffed, and then your attacks won't do any damage. Oh, I thought you do miss in P2 if you get hit by it. I could have sworn. I'm pretty sure P2 you do miss, because I remember the bishop would get cleanse that shit off with us. Okay, also the meteors fall every so often. These meteors aren't that big of a deal. They just blind you for a little bit, but they don't really do that much damage, and they don't give you gauge. They don't give you gauge, so don't really worry about these meteors that much. This is the worst thing, bro. This is the worst thing. This is the worst thing about P1. So the pillars, just like Black Mage Spikes, just like Gloom Tornado, just like Seavel Tails, there's an indicator on the floor that tells you that a pillar is going to come up, but these pillars are the fastest pillars in the game. You have no time to react to these things. These are so fast. So fast. And they do 40%, and they give you gauge, and they blind you. They're so fast, bro. They're so fast. Like, there's like no time to react to these things. You have like 1 second to react. Not even, bro. It's like so fast. Those pillars, yeah, you see everybody in chat who knows, like they know, bro. Those pillars are really annoying. Now, but the thing about the pillars is the pillars are in designated spots for the map. So if eventually you'll learn where they are, they're never in random spots. So you'll know not to stand in between 2 of them. You'll always stand in only one of them, because they spawn in the same location every time. And that's P1. P1, pretty straightforward, but it is hard. Now P2 is crazy. P2 is crazy. There's like 4 different phases in P2. Seren Angie. Okay, so when you enter okay, so when you're in P2, there's 4 phases. There's noon, there's sunset, there's midnight, and there's dawn. And it always follows that same rotation of phases every single time. Noon, sunset, midnight, dawn. Noon, sunset, midnight, dawn. Noon, sunset, midnight, dawn. Every single time. And it's got the best BGM for any boss in the game, no cap. 200 Sacred Force required. Mitra's power. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand. So you're going to have a new gauge in P2, and it looks really complicated, but I'll explain how it works. So there's two parts to this. So there's the middle part. This middle part that's all grayed out right now, this is the exact same as the P1 gauge. So this will tell you how much gauge you have, and when it fills up, you get gauge just like P1. So you're stunned for 5 seconds. Now, the outer ring is like a clock. This will tick as the phase progresses. It will move forward, and when it reaches the next color, it's going to be test, and you will reach the next phase of the boss. And it will keep going around and around and around and around. Now, the most important thing about phase 2 is that every single time you get gauged, the midnight section, which is this dark blue section, shrinks a little bit. And it shrinks a little bit. Every time you get gauged, shrinks a little bit, shrinks a little bit, shrinks a little bit, shrinks a little bit. Meaning the duration that you're in the phase gets shorter and shorter. And the thing about Seren is it's a very unique boss where This is the first boss in the game, I'm pretty sure, where you can fail this boss without losing any lives at all. You could be completely deathless, and you can fail this boss. And the way you fail this boss is if the midnight gauge gets completely depleted. If there's no more midnight gauge, you're out, bro. It's done. So that's why it's so important to not get gauged, because as you know, like I said earlier, if you get gauged, the midnight section shrinks a little bit. How long does it take to complete a full circle? I believe each phase is like 2.5 minutes almost. It's about 2 minutes or something. So let's just assume 2 minutes, like just let's rounding here. So 2 minutes, 4 minutes. This is like 30 seconds, and then like 6.5 minutes. HUC, you could fail without dying. Oh, true. I forgot about that. Yeah, this is another boss that's like that, where it's like, if you get gauged enough, and this runs out, it's done. You're out. You can see how it's moving. So as the phase progresses, it moves, and the middle fills up just like P1, and you get gauged. Oh, it says right here: 2 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, 2 minute, and this is 1 minute at base. So 2 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, 2 minute. But this is what, yeah, this is 1 minute at base. So this shrinks over time, right? So it'll be less than a minute over time. Yeah, so you can see every single time you get gauged, it shrinks a little bit every time. And once it fills up, it's over, bro. Game over. Fail. Yeah. So since it hit the new color, it's a test, and the test is very, very, very fast. So you really got to be paying attention, and your party will call out like, okay, test is soon, like pay attention. There's gonna be these pillars of light. Rixery, thank you for the follow. There's gonna be these pillars of light that spawn in the same spots in every map, but one of the pillars is gonna be shorter. The short pillar is not the same exact position every time, but they changed it that the short position is one of the middle pillars every single time. It's one of these 4. And the whole party needs to stand under this pillar before the test, before the pillars expand, before they open up. If they open up and you're not under it, you fail the test, you kill your whole party, and everybody gauges at the same time, which is the worst part. Not even the death. The whole party gauges, so it's times 6. Like the thing shrinks a lot, and you get flamed. Yeah. So you can iframe this. Yeah, you can iframe this whole thing and not worry about it. So you won't get gauged. You won't die. But the issue is, if everybody's iframing and somebody still fails, like they still fuck you over. So everybody, you really gotta. The thing about the test is everybody has to be on the same page. You either all do the test or you either all iframe. Don't 50-50 it. It's one or the other. Everybody is on the same page or they're not. No, you just have to be on the same page regardless. Like, one person can't be iframing, the rest under. No, I think you still fuck them up if you do that. I'm pretty sure. I think you still gauge them. You can iframe under. Like, if you're gonna iframe, at least stand here. Oh, you can now? They changed it? Oh, okay. I guess they made it easier. But, yeah, so you see how they expand? So when it's like this, you gotta rush under it. And once they expand, if you're not under it, it's over, bro. Bye-bye. You have to iframe under it? Oh, that's what I thought. Remember, iframing if you're already under it. For the rest of your party, that's why. For the rest of your party. But sometimes you iframe just in case. Like, I don't know, like you're scared it might glitch out or something. Look, you see, if a player gets hit by a player, if a pillar gets hit, the entire party will die instantly. See, like this dickhead is on the right. You don't die, but your whole party dies. So you kind of get exposed. Wait, I think you do die, right? I don't remember. I think you get exposed, though. I'm pretty sure you get exposed, so there's no bullshitting out of this one. Yeah, and as Shapad said, if you're a gravestone outside of the pillar, you kill the whole team, too. So if you're dead, you better respawn, bro. You can't just stay dead for the test, bro. See? These two I-framed, but they're not under the test. So this guy still died. That's why you really gotta, like... You really gotta be on the same page. You really gotta be on the same page in this boss for the test. It's very, very important. Now we're gonna... Now, that's just how the test works and how the gauge works, okay? And how the timer works. But now we're gonna discuss the attacks of Noon. Now, the thing about Noon is the phase that has the most amount of attacks that give you gauge. So you people generally gauge in Noon the most. Because almost everything in Noon gives you gauge. Seren herself, assuming you don't have a Night Lord, just by being around her, you take damage. Just from being around her. She's not even doing anything. She stabs you as well. Stab very, very quick. She be stabbing, bro. Gotta duck. Very, very quick.
A little bit.
Jojo, thank you for the follow. She does the charge, holds the sword up, charges up the sword, and goes forward. Pushes you and blinds you. This is very dangerous. She does the laser. So you'll see she holds her sword like that in front of her, and it charges up. She holds it and charges up, draws it back, and the laser will come forward. And the laser gives you a ton of gauge. It gives you like 30% gauge or something, or 40% gauge, like immediately filled up. It gives you so much gauge, and you're stunned for 5 seconds. You can't Hero's Will it or anything. So you have to duck it or up jump. This laser, and it's across the whole map. Whichever direction she's going, it's the whole map. See, you have this diamond around you. That means he's stunned for 5 seconds, and he just got a ton of gauge for getting hit by that. Now the thing about Seren is her skills are all in a rotation. She can't do laser twice in a row. She does all of her attacks in an order. You do an amazing job, dude. I would. Now, similarly to P1, she did the 8 radials. These are called the radials. She does 12 radials in this phase, and it does a lot of damage, and it blinds you. And this is what I mean. Like, she'll do laser, and then she'll do radials, and then she'll do like something else. Like her attacks are in rotation. She won't do radials 2 times in a row. She won't do lasers 2 times in a row. Like that, she doesn't do that. There's the bombs. These bombs spawn. They ignite really, really quickly, so you gotta up jump these. There's no safe spot in between these. Like, these two seem like they're far away, but there's no safe spot. That is not a safe spot. You have to up jump. If you're standing here, you have to up jump or go to the side. This is a safe spot in between here because there's no bomb here. But yeah, the bombs do a lot of damage, and they give you a ton of gauge. A ton. A lot, bro. Like, you don't want to get hit by the bombs. You can see they expand when they detonate, so there's no safe spot in the middle. And the hitbox goes up too, so you can't just like normal jump. You have to like really up jump. Are you safe if you up jump? Yes, you have to up jump. This is a full map bomb. You have to up jump this. There's no other way. Up jump or iframe. No other way. There's no safe spot. She does the full maps. So these are the flashbangs or the lasers. But there's 2 kinds of lasers, so I just call them flashbangs. These things are very, very dangerous. They do a lot of damage. They make your entire screen white if you're standing in them, and they pretty much immediately fill your gauge to full if you're standing. Like, immediately it's gonna fill up. And this is the indicator for which direction they're gonna spawn in. Similar to Guardian Slime. If you know how Slime has those green lasers, it's similar to that. Now, the thing about these laser beams is the hitbox isn't this fat. The hitbox is only where the white area is. So this yellow area, like if I'm standing here and my head is in the yellow, I'm not getting hit. It's only in the white area. And then you see he's standing in it. Your gauge will fill up immediately and your entire screen will go white, so you can't see anything. When she's less than 33% HP, there's 3 lasers. And then test. And she does test. That's all of her attacks in Noon. Now, Sunset, now rather than getting engaged a lot, like in Noon, in Sunset, you die a lot. Things do way more damage in Sunset, and you heal less in Sunset. You're burning the whole time. 20% HP contact damage. So just being around her deals a lot of damage. But if you have a Night Lord that debuffs her, you don't have to worry about that. During Twilight, you lose 1% every second, and your healing is 20% as effective. You lose 1% HP every single second, and your healing is 20% as effective. Like, you're not healing this phase, bro. Unless you're higher, though. Stab. Okay, so the thing about stab is it's the normal stab. You gain gauge and you know, you take damage. But you get applied a debuff. When you get stabbed, your HP starts ticking super fast. Like, you get sunburned. Yeah, you get sunburned. And your HP will drop to 0 like within like 2 seconds. Like, it will drop so fast if you get stabbed. So it's very important not to get stabbed in this phase. You get burned. Inhibits all healing, receiving damage every second. Yep, can't heal, and you take a ton of damage. The charge, 50%, and you get sunburned. This is the most dangerous attack in P3. This is the Hanadu set, as they say in Korean, but we call it the 1-2-3. She does a 1-2-3 slash combo. Each attack is a one-shot kill, but if you have Night Lord, only the third attack is a one-shot kill. So this is one shot, 2 1 shot, and 3. 3's the big one. When she holds her sword horizontally, this is the big one. You have to get out of the way. You have to either duck or up jump or be behind her. It will one shot you no matter what, even if you have a Night Lord. Night Lord has a skill called Showdown that could debuff the boss, that it makes the boss way easier for you. She splits the sun. You can see, like, it's very dangerous. 1 2 3, you have to duck or you will die. She has the fireballs. They do a lot of damage. They lock you and they give you gauge, but each one hits the ground at a different timer, so just be aware of that. The firewall. These firewalls spawn after a certain amount of time within sunset, and they just stay there. And I believe only certain classes can TP through them. I don't think every TP can go through. You can't up jump it. You can't dash through. You can't flash jump through. You can't dark sight through. You will take a ton of damage if you try to do that, so it divides the map. And you get sunburned. Merc debuff works too, yeah. Lightning edge works. Okay, so these are the pillars. They're exactly how like P1 pillars work. They're very, very fast, and they do a ton of damage. They're almost like a one-shot. So this is the indicator, and then it explodes. Indicator, explodes. And these things can stack on top of each other. So sometimes you could have 2 or 3 of them in the same exact spot. So it's like explode, explode, explode. And you think you dodged the first one, but there's actually like more behind it. And it could be the entire map too. It's very dangerous. Now, since it does 90%, you don't want to stand in between 2 of them because you'll die. And if there's no other way out, just stand just stand on one of them so that you take your 90% and that's it. Like, you don't die. And then it's test. Now this is the midnight phase. Midnight phase, you know, there's no sun. It's nighttime, so she has no power. You could just beat her up. That's it. Just beat her up. She doesn't do anything, basically. She'll stab you, but it really doesn't do anything. Oh, also, when you're in midnight, it resets your gauge. So let's say you're about to be filled on the gauge. When you enter midnight, it drops back down to 0. This is usually when people burst. She does the charge, but it's like, who cares? She pushes people around her, but it's like, who cares? She does these little explosions. Doesn't matter, bro. Just beat her up. Okay, now this... Dawn is the hardest phase. This is the last phase in P2. This is the hardest one, bro. This one is so annoying, bro. This one, if your party is not on point, this phase will ruin your whole run. Want to know why? She gains a shield in this phase, and everything that hits you adds onto that shield. And if adds onto that shield, and when this phase ends, that shield gets added onto her HP, so she heals. So if you get hit by a lot, she will heal a lot. So you got to really make sure you don't get hit in this phase, or she will heal all of her health back up all over again. This is the most dangerous phase. You don't really die or get many gauges in this, but the shield is really annoying. Now, generally, people don't DPS her in this stage in a party, because if you're DPSing her, you're probably going to keep getting hit, and she's probably going to keep the shield is probably going to keep going up, and you're probably not even really doing damage to her because you just keep getting hit over and over again. Yeah, so Seren gets a shield. The shield starts a little baby shield, but as you keep getting hit, the shield goes up and up and up. Dude, I've seen parties where the shield has gone to halfway and she's healed like 50% max HP. Like, literally. Bro, I've seen that before. Yeah, so everything that can hit you gives shield. So you see how I keep getting hit here? The shield is going up. Everything that hits me, shield goes up. Seren heals as the amount of charged shield. Yeah, so you can see before, like, look, she was at this much HP, and then when the phase starts, she heals. Bro, she's back at 50%. Like, that's why it's so important to not get hit in this phase as much as you can. So you just run away for 2 minutes. Yeah, but the issue is somebody has to hold there. And the other thing is, there's things that make it so you can't really run away. So you have to, like, I'll explain. You have to actually play this phase somewhat. Avoiding the pattern is key. Yup. Okay, so the little reindeers, the Xerneas, more of them spawn the lower HP she gets, and these things super push you. They will hit you with their antlers like that, and they'll send you across the whole map, bro. And they give you gauge, and they do damage, and they knock you back. Okay, so this is extremely dangerous. The wisps. You need to have one person in your party as the wisp popper. Basically how these work is as you run through them, they get activated and they'll explode like 1 second after you run through them. So you want to run through them to detonate them, and then they'll all explode. But if anybody is in these wisps, you take a lot of damage, you get reverse keyed, and it gets you get a ton of gauge. So this is incredibly important. There's always 2 sets of wisps as well. Always 2 sets. The first set and then the second set, and then they come back 15 seconds later from when the first set first spawned. There's the swords that fall down. They do 25%. They give you gauge and they stun you. These can be on the whole map. They can legit be the whole entire map of swords. Stab. She stabs you as well. Just stuck it. Charge. Same thing as all the other phases. And then there's the crab. We call this the crab. Everybody calls this the crab. But she basically does this little summon that is basically like a moving spike. Shoom, subscribe to tier 3. Thank you so much for 8 months, man. Luck the crab, yeah. This crab, even when it's underground, will still hit you. It's not like the spikes. And every 2 seconds, it comes up. Like that. Every 2 seconds. Boom. Goes up, and it does a lot of damage, gives you a lot of gauge. And then it's the test. And you're back in noon to do it all over again. Yep, and when you defeat her, you could get Daybreak Pendant, Solar Crest Skill, and Mitra's Rage. So hopefully that explains Seren a little bit for you guys. I know most people are not doing this boss. But yeah, I think Seren, personally, I think it's harder than Black Mage. But that, you know, as a Hayato, like, Black Mage is really easy for me. So I could be biased, but so special about Midnight, I missed it. Oh, she has no power. You could just beat her up. Eternal set? No, you don't get Eternal. At first, when this boss first released, you did, but then they changed it. Is the free phase, yeah. So hopefully you guys learned something.